smoke. Look at all the smoke in the house. Hello, Indigo Room. We're going to give some time for folks to get into the chat. All right. We're going to give it a little bit of, well, wait, hold on. Don't say nothing. I got to mute myself. I did it. Yay! I did it so there's no feedback. Bravo to me. Hi, Barb. So we're just going to, give it a couple minutes, let everybody wander in, and we'll give you some sage. Look, it's really smoking today. We'll give you some sage and Palo Santo wood. I'm trying not to set my ass on my, oops, I didn't mean to say that. Google. Trying not to set myself on fire. Here's some sage for you, Barb and Linda and me. Oh, I need this today. Linda, after the conversation I just had with you, I need this today, right? Here you go. I had to put the air on today. Oh my goodness. I hope, can you hear it? Is it making a loud noise or is it annoying or anything like that? Oh, great. Wonderful. Because I'm in the kitchen still. So I had to pull the air conditioner out of my bedroom into the kitchen because it was hot as blazes in my apartment. My apartment is on the second floor, and so I get the heat, yo. I get the heat. I get the heat up in here. So here you go. Sage, sage, sage. We had we'll get started in a couple minutes. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time to get in the chat. Oh, wonderful. You already hit the like button right away. I like that. Awesome sources. Who hit the like button? Was that you, Linda, or Barb? Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Hit the like button. When you come in, just hit the like button. As soon as you come in, then you don't have to listen. Then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be one of those people that I say, "Did you hit the like button too?" So make sure you comment, hit the like button, ring the bell if you haven't done so yet, so that you can get new content. Subscribe if you're new to the Indigo Room, and we're just going to give it one more minute, and then we'll get started. How was your week, Barb? How was your week, Linda? What? What? Wow. That's awesome. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear that. That just made me smile too. Hearing you smile, that made me smile. That's fabulous. It is. It is. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that you are hey Funky 00. Okay, for some reason Barb says she's not hearing you now. I don't know why. Yeah, Linda. Hey Funky. Yeah. Okay. Can we all hear Linda? Okay. Funke said she doesn't. Hit the button when you come into the room. Okay, I have the speaker right on top. So I'm not sure why I can hear Linda, but you guys can't hear Linda. That's very weird. So the sage is burning. Here you go, Funke. Here's some for you. Well, you heard Linda before, right, Barb? When she first came in? Barb said her week has been interesting. Good, interesting in a good way, that is. Okay, all right. Well, we like that. How you doing, Funke? How's your week going? Okay, so they did hear you. I mean, Barb heard you before, and then all of a sudden she stopped hearing you. So I'm not sure what. I'm gonna put the phone number in the chat. You want to call me, and I would like to hear your voice. Your week is going. Okay, that's okay. Your week is going. All right. So the number to call in, if you want to call in tonight, is 201-855-9898. 201-855-9898. I just put it in the chat. And we're going to get started. So welcome to the Indigo Room. I'm your host, Sydney Chase. I'm taking you on a ride. We're going through the universe today. I'm taking you on a ride through the universe. This is where we discuss all things spiritual. And by that, I mean that what? We are non physical spiritual beings having physical human experiences, and life is supposed to be good. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be delicious, even when it is sometimes a wicky wacky, because it can get wicky wacky. But this is where we find tools. We talk about tools. We talk about things that will help you to be able to manifest the life that you really want to have, that you're supposed to have. Because as I put on my Instagram today, on the Indigo Room show's Instagram today, life is beautiful, and God didn't put you here to be a failure. Okay? That's not how we're rolling. That's not how we're getting down. So if you fall down 7 times, get back up 8. And so what? If you get back up 8 and you fall down 8 times, get back up 9. You got to keep getting back up. That is the key to this life. Let me tell you how many times I fell down? I don't even know. I can't even count. Like, I don't even know. It might be like 100. I fall down and then I get back up. And that's what we have to do. Even, I don't know. I'd rather fail. I'd rather fail or look like I'm failing or look like I'm a failure to some, because to me, if you fall down, that means that you are at least making the attempt, right? You're at least doing something. And you cannot succeed in anything if you don't make an attempt. You miss 100% of the shots you do not take. I think, who was that? Was that Michael Jordan that said that? I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I can't remember. But you miss 100% of the shots that you do not take. So what does that mean? You just got to take the shot. Don't. Okay, so you're afraid. So just get in there and take the shot. Just get in there. Put me in, coach. Put yourself in. So tonight we are discussing the I Am Discourses. Last week we discussed Neville, and next week we'll be discussing Neville again. And we were talking about the manifesting, it's like a manifesting secrets of the Bible. So last week we talked about the name of Jehovah, and next week in Neville we're going to talk about the law of creation, and it talks about Noah and the flood and all that. So if you want to be around for that, make sure you subscribe and that you ring that bell, because then you'll get the notifications, and make sure you hit the like button as well while you're here. So we're going to tickle our amygdala, which is what we do every week. And for those of you that are new, you have no idea what your amygdala is, because there's some of you watching that are not in the chat. Your amygdala is part of your brain, and it's right here, right above the temples, right up there, like two little almonds. That's what they look like. And when your amygdala is closed, you're in fright or flight mode. That means, you shut down. You can't figure out stuff. You don't know which way to go. You're scared. You're running. But when your amygdala is open, that's when you're smiling, and that's when you feel good. And what that does is it lights up your frontal lobe right here, right in the front of your brain. And that is where all of your ideas come from. That's where all the good stuff comes from. So we here in the Indigo Room tickle our amygdala every week. And we're here on Sundays too at 11:30. For a short period of time. Soon the Sunday shows are going to go private for subscribers only. So if you want to join us on the Sunday Live and you like the Sunday shows and you want to hear about it, we talk about a little bit of everything. Last week we talked about energy vampires. If you like that show, and there are other shows, we talked about racism and spirituality. You can go back. We have a playlist created for you, the Good Rising Morning Open Chat playlist. You can click that and look at all of the shows we've done. You might want to check it out before it goes private. And then it'll only be for the people who subscribe or who are members of the Indigo Room. And we're not doing Patreon, but you'll be members on our website, which is theindigoroom.org. And that would allow you to be able to connect with us and hang out with us on Sundays. And because I'm getting ready to do some new things, there'll be more and more and more content and more videos. And again, that'll be for the subscribers and members of the Indigo Room. Sorry, not everything. Just because it's all free doesn't mean everything gets to be free. Also, hello to the Indigo Room peeps over there at TalkShoe. We didn't forget about you. We love you very much, and we thank you for downloading the shows and listening to the shows and listening to the podcast over on Indigo. That's where we started. That's where we first started the Indigo Room in 2007. So our anniversary is coming up, July 7th, 2007. And that'll be on Sunday. So we're going to be doing a live show you know, on the Indigo Room. So you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us. That's the Indigo Room Creating Our Reality on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram, which is the Indigo Room Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Sydney584, or you can follow me on Facebook at Sydney Chase. So I think I got everything. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. There's a lot of social media things, but mainly we're here on YouTube. So I hope you had a great week. I hope you use your tools, you create your day, you use the create your day list. I hope you're doing that. I hope you're doing your meditations. You're listening to Doxy, or if you're not finding Doxy helpful, you're listening to something. And if you listen to 432 megahertz, that is really, really good meditation music. I got to tell you, it's very calming. It's very relaxing. So if you are listening to meditation music, you do want to, you don't have to. I say you should, but I don't should on people. So if you want to check out some good meditations, just put in the search in YouTube 432 megahertz and listen to that. You will find yourself being very calm, and that will help you when you're drifting off to sleep and you're doing your imagination meditations. So make sure you're doing your imagination meditations, because this helps to change your subconscious thoughts. I'm going to do a whole series about subconscious thoughts, and that is what's really running your life. You can do all of this work on the conscious level, but if you haven't changed your subconscious, you're still going to get wicky wacky. That's all I'm going to say. Wicky wacky. Okay. Let me just check and see what's going on over here. Funky00 said, I saw that message today. Thank you for those words. I definitely needed to hear that, especially today. You are welcome, Funky00. You're welcome, welcome, welcome. I woke up and I thought, that's a message that we need to share today, because God did not put you here to be a failure. Period, point blank. All right, so let's get started with the I Am Discourses. Oh, sorry. I'm jumping the gun. Let's get started with tickling our amygdala. So get your feather, right? You know where your feather is? Do you have to go look for your feather? Do I have to go find it? Look, it's right there in your back pocket. I see it sticking out. Just grab it. Imagine that you have a feather in your hand, and you know what color it is. You decide what color it is. And what the other thing that's really great about doing this exercise is it helps you to visualize, and it helps you to flex your imagination muscle, because that's important. You have to really, really get into your own wonderful human imagination. It's key. So imagine that you have a feather in your hand. Mine is purple, gold, and white. And then imagine that you feel, close your eyes, imagine that you're feeling the bristles of the feather. What does your feather feel like? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Really, really get into your imagination. See the feather in your hand and imagine what it feels like and what it looks like. And then what you're going to do is lift the feather up and slide it into the center of your forehead. And then we're going to tickle our amygdala on the right temple. Just tickle it for a little bit. And then you're going to move the feather over to the left and imagine that you're tickling the amygdala on the left. And then pull the feather out of your head. It always makes me smile. It always makes me feel good when I do that exercise. And you can do that if you're sitting at your desk at work, or if you're, I don't know, maybe you're doing a jackhammer and you get to stop and wipe the sweat off your brow. Do it then. Just tickle your amygdala. It's a wonderful way for you to be able to open up your frontal lobe. It helps you immensely, and it takes you out of that fright or flight mode. Linda, can we hear you yet? Let's see. Let's do a Linda check. Linda, Linda, Linda. Linda, Linda, Linda. We're checking to see if we can hear Linda tonight. Okay, now I don't hear her at all. Maybe she has herself on mute. Let's see. Linda, can we hear you? Linda. Okay, we can't hear Linda at the moment. So we are discussing the I Am Discourses. If you haven't gotten the book, I suggest that you do. The links are in the description below to Amazon. I am an Amazon affiliate. I get a little bit of a stipend, not that much, but I get a little bit if you purchase it through Amazon. But you don't have to. You can purchase it anywhere. Get the book. Get the book. Get the book. Also, the links are there for Resurrection. You can purchase the book down there as well. And our links are there for PayPal and Cash App. If you would like to help the Indigo Room grow, you could send us a love donation. So we are doing the I Am Discourses, and we are at chapter 12 this week. And the topic of the show tonight is your I Am presence knows the truth. What do I mean? Well, your I Am presence knows the truth about everything that you want to know or you need to know. So sometimes a lot of us, I know for me, that has been the case. And, you know, the sage is still burning. I guess we needed it tonight. The sage is still burning. But sometimes, you know, you get confused or you may be in the middle of a situation and you're trying to figure out what you need to do or what this situation, what you need to do to resolve this situation or what needs to happen so that this situation is resolved. And your I Am presence is ready, willing, and able to work for you and give you the help that you need. It may give you your ideas. It may give you a person that you need to reach out to. I know that there's been times when I have reached within because I just couldn't figure stuff out. And I'll get something hit. I'll get a hit. It'll say, call this person or talk to this person. And I do. And immediately the answer is provided. So just because your I Am presence is within you doesn't mean that it's not going to give you instructions to reach out to someone. It may be a friend, or a friend may reach out to you. There have been times when I have been really concerned about, I don't know, money, or when I was writing my book, when I was looking for a job. When I got this job at the Metropolitan Opera, all I knew was that I wanted to go back to New York City. That's it. And I stayed within, and I kept going within, and I kept doing my exercises, and I kept saying, I remember when. I was living in Pennsylvania at the time, and I kept saying, I remember when. That's a Neville technique. I used to live in Pennsylvania while I was still living in Pennsylvania, mind you. And I just stayed there. And the next thing I know, things started to happen. You know, my son called me and said, Ma, do you want to apply to the Metropolitan Opera? What? My cousin called me and says, listen, I have an apartment. Do you want to come live with me? What? You know, so you don't know what you don't know, but the I Am presence knows everything that you need to know. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And we are on starting at page 136, and the discourse starts. And as we do with the I Am Discourses, we don't read it like we read Neville. When we do Neville, we read everything. With the I Am Discourses, we read certain excerpts that I found that are helpful, and then I encourage you to read it on your own, because this is their content, it's their book, so we don't read the whole thing, but we do discuss it. And I encourage you to read it on your own. And if you haven't read the I Am Discourses, please, 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 you don't do anything else if you never watch another show, because you could be doing anything else, but you're here at the Indigo Room. If you don't do anything else in your life, get this book. You can go to, just Google it. Just Google I Am Discourses. You don't have to get it from me, but get it for yourself. Okay, so we're on page 136. And the discourse, we're going to just start with the discourse. The seeming mysteries of life with their attendant experiences are, when rightly understood, blessings in disguise. For any experience that causes us to turn more firmly to the one active presence, I am God in action, has served us a wonderful purpose and blessing. The unfortunate situation in which personalities find themselves exists because they are constantly looking outside sources for sustenance, directing intelligence, and for the love that is the supreme presence and power of the universe. How many of us do that? I know I'm guilty. Guilty is charged. But how many of us look outside of ourselves constantly? Right? We do. We look to our relationships. We look to our money outside of ourselves before we even create it inside of ourselves. We look to our relationships outside of ourselves. We look to government outside of ourselves. We look to government help outside of ourselves. We look to our job outside of ourselves. We look to so many different things outside of ourselves. But when we get clear and we go within, that's where the magic happens. It matters not what the conditions are that we face. At no time must we lose track of or allow ourselves to be drawn from the great truth that love is the hub of the universe upon which everything revolves. I forget that sometimes. I get wicky wacky. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not all love and light every single day. I have to admit it. I'm working on it, but I'm not always all love and light. Okay, Linda said, Linda said she thinks her internet connection is what's creating the sound problem. Okay, Linda. Well, we'll get you. It'll come back. I am seeing that your internet connection is coming back. This does not mean that we shall love in harmony, discord, or anything unlike the Christ, but instead we can love God in action. The I am presence, everywhere present, for the opposite of hate is love, and one cannot hate in any sense without having loved deeply. Think about that. You cannot have hate without having loved deeply. There's so many things that are happening in the world right now with regards to others outside of ourselves, and the hate is visceral. But those people that hate have also loved deeply. So I know it's hard sometimes, because it's hard for me to, feel very loving towards somebody who's very hateful. But it's not impossible. I'll work on it on a regular. Each human being is a power and is intended to be the governing principle of his life and world. In the recognition that within each human being is the I am presence of God ever acting, then everyone knows that he holds within his outer hands the scepter of dominion and should use his conscious determination in knowing that the invincible presence of God is every moment the intelligent activity acting in his world. How many of us know that? Because sometimes I forget. I need somebody to remind me. I got to remind myself. But sometimes I forget that God is the energy and the intelligent activity acting in my world and affairs, and it's acting in everybody's world and affairs. I have to remind myself of that. Linda says, I forget. Yeah, because, we're human beings we're spiritual beings having human physical experiences. And we forget that, especially if you're in the middle of something, especially if we're all connected on social media, and somebody sends some crazy text or some crazy post, something that is just takes you out of your peace, because we be scrolling, right? We be scrolling, and then boom, you hit something, and that just sends you over the edge, right? And we forget. So I'm not saying that you should beat yourself up. I'm just saying sometimes we forget. A habit to break. Barb says, me too. Then all of a sudden I remember. Yeah. Sometimes it takes me a minute to remember. I'm just saying. I'm being truthful. So everyone knows, okay, that the invincible presence of God in every moment, the intelligent activity in his world and affairs. This keeps the attention from becoming fixed on the outer appearance. So that's the key, not being fixed. And what does fixed mean? That means something that is holding on to the outer appearance. We can see stuff happening. We can acknowledge that it happens. And then you have to step back from it. I feel, right? You have to step back from it a bit and not get fixated on what's happening on the outer. And that goes with, and I'm not just talking about stuff that we see on Facebook. I'm just talking about stuff in our own experience as well. Especially the one thing I know for me is when I get to the point where I go, oh, wait, maybe I don't have enough money to do this one thing. Like this weekend, I went to a soiree. I think I told you guys about that on Sunday. And initially, I didn't have the money for the ticket. And I really wanted to go. Well, I mean, I had the money, but, I'm using the money for other things. And I said, oh, and the thought came to mind, well, you don't have enough money to do that. And I had to change that. I had to get not fixated on the money, but I wanted to get fixated on the experience that I might have should I decide to go, because I really, really did want to go. And I just thought about the experience that I would have, and I got fixated on that within. Now, I didn't have the experience yet. I don't know what's going to happen at the soiree. I haven't been to the soiree. I don't know what a soiree is. My first time. But it looked fun. And so the person that invited me, I said, listen, I said, I would love to go. I can't even remember what I put in there, but it wasn't that I didn't have any money. I just said, I just turned it around about, circulating the money to this particular thing. I can't remember what I wrote exactly, but I did not say I didn't have the money. And I got into a really good space about that. And when I went within, and she said, well, did I say anything about the money? I was like, well, no, you didn't. She said, are you coming? I was like, yes, I am. And I had the most amazing time. It was great. It was fabulous. So I'm talking about everything in our experience. And I think that's what Saint Germain and Godfrey Ray King are talking about as well. So no matter what the problem is to be solved in the individual's life, see, there we go. No matter what the problem is, no matter what the problem is, some of you don't like other people to help you either. So you got to get out of that, because Your I am presence sends you friends and people and resources. Don't be a bad receiver, because a lot of you are good givers. You know, you'll give and give and give, but you're terrible receivers. Somebody wants to give you something. Oh, no, don't do that. Oh, no, I can't accept it. Oh, no, that's too much, because you think you're not worthy. That's BS. Okay? So no matter what the problem is to be solved in the individual's life, there's only one power, presence, and intelligence that can solve it. And that is the individual's recognition of the all-powerful presence of God, with whom no outer activity, see, nothing can jack up God. Nothing can jack up your I am presence. I mean, we can shut it off. We can not listen, not shut it off, but not listen and not pay attention. But nothing can stop it. It's still going to flow. It still knows everything you need to know, even if you don't want to reach within and figure and find out what that is. It still knows. It's still moving and grooving. So, the all-powerful presence of God, with whom no outer activity may interfere, unless the individual's attention is knowingly or unknowingly drawn from his central recognition and acceptance of the supreme God power. So the principle of life, always active, is ever striving to pour itself forth into expression, thereby producing its natural perfection. But human beings, like us, having free will, consciously or unconsciously qualify it with all kinds of distortion. So that's what Neville talks about when he's talking about the unconditioned consciousness. When we talked about God's name last week, Jehovah, and then we condition it. So we all come here unconditioned, with the unconditioned consciousness. As soon as we enter that canal and we're like, woo, hi, I'm here, boom, it starts to get conditioned by our parents, by the doctors who brought us in, by the nurses who are feeding us while our mothers are sleeping. So all of this unconscious, unconditioned consciousness starts to get conditioned. We start to get conditioned by our environment and by the people in our environment. So the individual who stands with his attention fixed firmly on the I am presence, on God and with God, becomes an invisible power with which no outer manifestation of mankind can interfere. So that is how we can keep our world stable, so to speak. And I hate to use the word protected in a way, but you are allowed to protect your space. You know, you're allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to protect your energy. Because sometimes when you say protect, it brings up also the opposite, which is fear. But you don't have to be fearful in order to protect what is sacred to you. So that's what I think. This is my feeling. This is what I get from it. You may get something different. So Linda says, we all need to allow others to give, and we need to allow ourselves to receive. Absolutely. Absolutely. You cannot, giving and receiving is the same energy. I mean, it's just opposite sides of the coin. So you can't give with a closed fist, and you can't receive with a closed fist. So you have to, in order to give, you have to have your hand open to give, but you also have to keep that hand open to receive. And it's the same energy. When you give, then the universe will also give to you, but you have to be open to receive that. And it may not necessarily come the way you think it should come. It may not come because you said I wanted to come, wrapped in a silver box with a pink bow and it has to come that way. God says, yeah, well, it's coming with Joe, the homeless guy that you see every day in the subway. It's coming through him. It's coming through Joe, the homeless guy that you see in the subway. So in the recognition of I am here and I am there, friends, wherever needful, will be raised up to one's assistance, for I am the friends brought forward whenever and wherever it is necessary. That's an I am statement. I am the friends brought forward whenever and wherever it is necessary. Because sometimes you need Joe, the homeless guy in the subway, to be your friend. And you have to be willing to receive wherever the universe finds the way to help you. Many times this requires strong determination to hold unwaveringly in this presence when appearances seem to be dominating. However, such is never really the case. The old saying, an individual is never licked until he gives up, is quite true. For as long as an individual looks with full determination to God in himself as the governing intelligence, there is no human activity that can long interfere. And I have to say, looking back on my experience in my life, I find that to be the case. There are so many times, and I'm sure some of you can think about so many times when you thought that this would be the end of you, this experience, whatever it is. This is it. This is the one. This is the one that's going to take me out. I'm not going to be able to get, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. You can right now, today, in this moment, think about things that have happened in your experience and in your life that you thought back then you were never going to get through. I know when I died, and when my stomach exploded in my body cavity, my intestines, I was like, yeah, that's the end for me. I'm not going to get through this one. Here I am today, still here on the Indigo Room talking about it. When I fell down the stairs, I thought, okay, that's it. This is the one. This is the one. This is the one. Like Fred Sanford. I'm coming, Elizabeth. This is the one. And you get through it. You get through it. You manage to get through it. When you start standing in your I am presence, when you start standing in God, and you start standing in your goddess, your source, your universe, that energy that's within you, you do manage to get through it. Not everybody stands in their presence. Not everybody trusts their inner guidance. Many of us don't. But the ones that are here now, you know that you got through something. You went through something and you thought that you was never going to get through it, and you did. And you're still here and you're still standing. So trust that whatever's coming, or if you're in something right now, trust and know and believe that you will manage to get through that. Stay focused. Stay strong. Keep believing. Stay in your wonderful human imagination until what you seek within is starts to appear on the out. What you are subjectively creating on the inside starts to manifest objectively on the outside. We're on page 139, and we're in the second paragraph. Until mankind or individuals hold their attention on the I am presence, God within, long enough and with sufficient determination, they will find themselves surrounded by the undesirable. But through this I am presence, each one has the power to raise himself above the discord and disturbance of the outer creation. At first, It does take determination. It does. I've said it a million times since we started this show in 2007. It is work, because if you think about yourself as a ship, let's just say, that is an old ship that has just been raised up from the depths of the ocean, and it's rust and barnacles on this ship. But it's in pretty decent condition. We just need to clean it up a bit. And it takes work to clean it up because there's rust on the wheel, on the steering wheel. There's rust in some of the mechanics. It's been sitting in water for a long time, but it's raised up. That's the good news. It got raised up. So now we got to clean it off. And that's what we're doing in the Indigo Room. We're cleaning off the barnacles of ourselves. We're cleaning off the rust. And then we're going to turn the wheel. And when you turn the wheel, it may not go right away, because now you got to use some, what's that, KYD 40? Is that what? No, what is it? KYD? I don't know. WD 40. You got to spray some more of that on the wheel to get it to just move a little bit. Just a little bit. So it's going to take work. It's going to take time. It's going to take your determination, yours. I mean, I could sit here and we could talk about it all week, every Wednesday night. But the work is you. You got to do the work. Aren't you important enough to do the work for yourself? I think so. I know I'm important enough. I'm worthy to do the work. And every time I do the work, that wheel moves just a little bit better and a little bit freer and a little bit easier. And it becomes much easier for me to change my focus and switch my focus and switch my attention. But that's because we keep doing the work. And when you keep doing the work, the wheel turns and it turns and it turns. And the next thing you know, wow, it's easy. It's easy to turn the wheel. So it says, at first, it does take determination to hold fast when the seeming storm clouds hang low and the outer appearance seems overwhelming. It does. Don't get me wrong. It does seem overwhelming. It does seem stressful. It does seem like you're never going to make it through. But with a dynamic, conscious attitude and with the attention fixed upon the presence of God within, it is like the lightning flashing forth from within the storm clouds, penetrating and dissolving the storm that seems to be so threatening. So you have within you this invincible presence of God. We all do. I have it. Linda has it. Funky 00 has it. Barb has it. People that are hanging out in the bushes listening to the Indigo Room have it. So your next step is to take your stand. I am the illumining, revealing presence. I'm sorry, excuse me, I jumped the gun. If you know that you have within you this invisible presence of God, if you know that and are certain of it within your own consciousness and your subconscious, I added that in. I mean by that, standing with firm determination in the face of everything, then you know that you do have this presence within. Your next step is to take your stand. Your next step is to take your stand. I am the illumining, revealing presence, and no outer activity that I need to know can be withheld from me, because I am the wisdom, I am the perception, I am the revealing power, bringing everything before me that I may see and understand and be able to act accordingly. Did y'all get that? Because that's deep. To me, it is. I am the illumining, revealing presence, and no outer activity that I need to know can be withheld from me. Because I am the wisdom, I am the perception, I am the revealing power bringing everything before me that I may see and understand and be able to act accordingly. So your I am presence, your I am knows everything you need to know. But we are so used to looking on the outside to get the answers instead of going within. I know when I go out on the outside first, I never get the right answers. Never. I'm just telling you. I never ever get them. If I don't go within first and I go without to the outside first, you know, I let my monkey mind, my you know, Maya mind say, well, you know, you need to go talk to this person, you need to go here, you need to do this, you need to do. Nothing goes smoothly. It may put a band-aid on something, but it doesn't, it's not long lasting, and it doesn't help me. However, when I go within, sometimes I don't even get the answer right away. Sometimes because I got so much nuts stuff going on up here, I don't get the answer right away. It's given right away. I don't get it right away because I got a lot of, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should go here. Maybe I should. But once I calm that down and I go within and I get calm and I go within my meditation and I go talk to God and I listen and I get quiet, peace, be still and know, always 100% of the time, the answer comes in a way that I did not expect. And it's always, 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 always better than anything that I could have done going on the outside. Every single time. It takes me a minute because, you know, I'm human and I get into the whole fear, fight or flight mode. I get into that whole crazy, nonsensical, wicky wacky, out of control thought process. And then I go, wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? I calm myself down. Breathe. Meditate, get quiet, and the answer always comes. Always. And it's always better than anything I could have done on the outside. Bob said, I feel the same. Looking without can drive one crazy. Gotta look within and listen. Absolutely. Bob says, I love that nothing we need to know can be withheld from me. Nope, it really cannot. And I tell you, it's so funny. I always find out the truth about anything, you know, about almost everything. When I go in to my I am presence, when I go within, I will always, always, always find the truth. Like, you know, you may be going through a situation and somebody's doing something or saying something to you, or it's not right, or it's not, you know, it's not a good situation, or maybe you even have to go to court for a situation. I've done that. I've been to court too. And when you get into your I am presence, I'm telling you from my own experience. I can only tell you things from my own experience. 100% of the time it works out. When you step out of that, you get good results, you get bad results, and it's long lasting. It lasts. It's not like, you know, oh, I'm going to give you this and hopefully that'll work for you. Said, nope, 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 nope. It's done. It's a done deal. It's only when I don't fixate on the I am within. So again, I am the illumining, revealing presence, and no outer activity that I need to know can be withheld from me, because I am the wisdom, I am the perception, I am the revealing power, bringing everything before me that I may see and understand and be able to act accordingly. So I am the only intelligence and presence acting. That's another great I am statement you may want to use and you may want to put around your house or, someplace where you'll see it. They'll help to calm you. I am the only intelligence and presence acting. This I am presence, you can compel everything you need to know to be revealed to you through this I am presence. I assure you, this is not in any way interfering with the free will of any other individual. Because, you think, oh, well, she doesn't want, what if they don't want me to know? That ain't got nothing to do with them. We're talking about you. It doesn't interfere with anything that anybody else is doing. What you need to know for whatever you need to know it for. And I'm not saying that, you're going to go now, start looking in peeking in people's windows and being a stalker, because the I am presence is not going to give you stuff that you don't need to know. You don't need to know what time Harry comes home every night at 5 o'clock because the I am presence is going to reveal that to you. That's not something you need to know. But if you're in the middle of a situation with Harry or whatever, and you got a lawsuit going on and you need stuff to be revealed to you, sure, absolutely. It is time that the children of God who are looking to the light awaken to the dominion. I assure you, it is no wrong nor mistake to claim and demand your own. We've been told that, that's not a good thing. I assure you, it is no wrong nor mistake to claim and demand your own. In doing this, you are not in any way interfering with any other individual. If at any time there are those who, through their outer activity, that attempt to take from you that which belongs to you, then it is your right to command through the I am presence that the whole condition be adjusted and your own brought to you. In this, we must be very careful that when we have set the divine law into motion and divine justice begins to take place, that we do not become oversympathetic and thereby interrupt the action of the law. I have done that. This is before I knew anything about the I am presence, though. I'm just saying. You got things going, is a praying to God and, going into my secret place of the Most High, and I'm doing my prayers and things look like they're working out, and, I'm starting to feel a certain way because the person is experiencing some not so good stuff. And I'm thinking, oh my God, did I do that? Is that because of me? So what Saint Germain is saying, when human beings are governed entirely by the outer self, and when they have no consideration for the power of God, which gives them life, they are easily led to commit any kind of injustice. But does that mean in any sense that you shall allow them to do it in your world? Just because you're a spiritual being, and you're all love and light and you're a light worker, does that mean that you should just lay down and allow somebody to do that in your world? Because you bumped into their energy? I say no. Not when you know that you have the mighty power of God within to command and demand right and justice from everywhere. So this dovetails with what we talked about on Sunday with energy vampires, right? I'm thinking. That's how I feel. So if you're dealing with an energy vampire, you have the right. You have the right to command your I am presence, because you're standing in your I am presence to handle this situation. They may not be standing in their I am power. Okay, but you are. And you can call on that I am presence. You can call on that I am power to handle this situation of injustice that you may be dealing with somebody who's a narcissist even. I want to cite to you an instance. One of my students was going through a very trying experience, and the nature being very spiritual, I told her to demand right and justice. She did as advised, and presently things began to happen to those who wished to do her injustice. Like karma, right? Through kindness of heart, she began to relent and wish that she had not demanded justice. She came to me and said, "What am I to do?" I said, "With no uncertainty, stand by the decree that you have issued. You are not responsible for the lessons that individuals have to learn who have wronged you, so let them get their lessons and be undisturbed." And that is something that uh, sometimes might be difficult for people. You have to allow everyone, because they have the same God presence as you. I have the same God presence as you. You have the same God presence as me. But just because you're standing in your God presence and I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna go over here and take Barb's money, because I'm not standing in my own presence. I'm standing in the outer. And she looks like she's got money. So I'm gonna come over here and rob her and take her money. I ain't gonna beat her up, but I'm just gonna, like, maybe sign some things, on her mortgage on her house, and I'm gonna take that money and put it in my bank. Barb finds out about it. She's standing in her I am presence, because her I am presence says, you know what, you better watch out for Sydney. She's taking your money. Sydney, no, she would never do that. Yeah, she is. She's taking your money. Go check that out. Barb checks it out and finds out that's the truth. She stands in her I am presence, demands justice, demands right, and things start happening to me that are not good. My kid starts, I don't know, things just start happening. My life starts falling apart. Now Barb starts to feel bad. Did I create that for Sydney? No, you did not. I created that for myself. And when you decided to demand justice, the I am presence is not punishing me, but the I am presence is, I'm not standing in it. So if I'm not standing in my I am presence, then, I have to deal with my, what is that? Cause and effect. I have to deal with cause and effect. So that's really powerful too. So don't let your, soft heart, and we're loving beings, but you have to stand in your presence and allow people to experience the laws of the universe themselves. Let's see, where are we? 10:03. Woo! All right. There's a lot still going on with this chapter. I'm going to stop at page 143 and we'll finish, 144, and we'll pick it up again next week when we do Neville. But it says that the only way one can open himself up to undesirable thought is by entering into condemnation and hate. If he has done this, he has generated the thing in which he believed. The student who knows the power of God within himself need never fear anything from anyone. I know that's difficult to accept and to wrap your mind around, because it was difficult for me to accept and wrap my mind around. But as you do your work, you'll get less fearful about people, places, and things, because you'll know that you're protected. But that takes work. It's not something now that you're just going to say, because we read up to 12 chapters, I'm ready, Sydney. I'm going to go stand in the fire. No, you want to allow your presence, your I am presence. Like, you don't need to test God in saying that in that way. You need to stand in your power and be still and know and grow. Be still, know, and grow. Be still, know, and grow. And just keep doing that. until you're strong, until you're standing in like a big oak tree. And you know that, you know, you don't have any fear because you're rooted. You're rooted in your I am presence. So right now you might not be rooted. You're like, you know, you might be rooted today, and then, you know, you're like a tumbleweed tomorrow. And then you tumble back in, and then, you know, you get yourself rooted. So it might be going back and forth. But once you stand, once you feel, once you're rooted in it, once you are rooted in it, then you know that you don't have to fear anybody or anything. If you want peace and harmony, know I am the power producing it. That's another great I am statement. If you want peace and harmony, know I am the power producing it. If you want adjustment in your affairs and world, know I am the mighty intelligence and power producing it. And no outer activity can interfere with it. So I am the power producing it, and I am the mighty intelligence and power producing it, and no outer activity can interfere with it. You run that around for a while. Like, make a tape if you need to. We listen to Doxy, but it may be nice for you to, at some point, start making your own recordings of your own voice, saying some of these things that you want to change in your subconscious, that you want to get stronger in your I am presence, and let it run at night. Make it for an hour. What have you got to lose if you make your own recording? What have you got to lose? So what? You take an hour of your time out of the whole time you've been on the planet and record your I am statements for yourself. And then when you go to sleep, you put those on and listen to that as you drift off to sleep, whatever it is that you want to create. Because your subconscious is listening to you now speaking and creating and changing your own subconscious. So take some time, do that. You know what? As a matter of fact, that's an exercise that I'm sending out for all of us to do for this week. Put it in the comments below if you're going to create your own 1 hour recording. It doesn't even have to be music. You can add music to it if you want. And if you do add music to it, I would suggest you add 432 megahertz as the music in the background. So I challenge all of you to create a 1 hour recording of yourself saying your I am statement or whatever it is that you want to create for yourself. And then listen to that for 30 days. Challenge! That's a challenge. Barb said, I would not believe that about you ever. Oh, good, Barb. But point well taken. So I think we're going to leave it there tonight. And yeah. Well, no, let me just finish this last part. From out of the seeming mystery of life's ceaseless activity, there is the illumining presence of the mighty I am within that stands ever ready to bless you with untold, inconceivable blessings, if you only let it. So it's up to us to let it. We have to invite it in. We have to say, yes, God, please, from within. Yes, my mighty I am present. I am willing to accept, and I'm open, I'm ready to work. I'm ready to do the work. It's not going to just happen, you know, if you don't do the work. Can't nobody do the work for you. It's not going to happen if you don't do the work. How do you let it? By the joyous acceptance of the mighty presence that you have this mighty power within you, and then do not hesitate in every detail of your activity. Every detail of your activity, not some activities, not, you know, we're only going to use it for, opening cans We're only going to use it for cleaning the house. We're only going to use it for money. But in every activity, you know, when you find yourself walking and your mind starts to wonder, go to some of your I am statements, carry it in a little notebook if you need to. Open it up. Who cares if anybody sees you? This is about you. This is about you and your life and what you got going on and your experiences and what you want to create and what you want to manifest and what you want to feel. You want to feel happy. You want to feel joyful. You want to feel peaceful. You want to feel love. You want to feel abundance. You want to feel life, the life energy flowing through you. It's about you. And then do not hesitate in every detail of your activity, no matter how small, because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago too, you know, how I use this energy for just everything, just everything. Even when I need to get my nails done, when I want to wash dishes, everything. I use it for everything. So no matter how small it seems, to call it into action, for there is no energy in the universe but God to act through your consciousness, your mind, your body, your world. Say often, I am the presence in everything you wish to have done. I am the presence in everything I wish to have done. I am the presence in everything I wish to have done. I am the presence in everything I wish to have done. Say it often. Use it often. I am the presence in everything I wish to have done. This opens the way for the power of God to act and bring you justice. Have no sympathy for the outer that is in its ignorance. Have no sympathy for the outer that is in its ignorance, does the wrong thing, whether in yourself or someone else. Keep calm and serene. I am poised. I am calm, poised, and unbothered. I am calm, poised, and unbothered. That's something that I have to, that I have to remind myself a lot. Like last night, I saw something that just sent me over the edge, and I was crying like a baby in my own house because I saw this young man who was trying to come across the border with his baby, and they didn't make it. And it hit me in such a way that I was just bawling in my own, by myself. And I was just praying for this young man and this baby. I was just praying them up to spirit because I was in a way. And then I had to get calm. I had to calm myself down. I had to get calm and poised and unbothered as I lifted them up, because I can't lift them up in that kind of wicky wacky energy. I can only lift them up in love, and I can only lift them up in calmness, and I can only lift them up in knowing and joy and peace. So, yeah, there are things that happen, and it may take you out, and you may feel bad, and you may feel whatever you feel. But the only way that you're going to be able to assist that person or assist yourself or assist any others is for you to get calm and poised. So have no sympathy for the outer that is in its ignorance, that in its ignorance does the wrong thing, whether in yourself or someone else. Keep calm and serene, knowing God is the only intelligence and power acting in your world and affairs. I am in you is the self-sustaining strength and healing manifesting in your mind and body. This keeps you in greater attunement, face God, and the energy always surges forth to command every situation. Individuals who understand this law are not subject to injustice and the conditions which the outer selves of other beings tries to impose upon them. So we're going to end it there tonight. And That's on page 143. Let me just mark that so I have it for next week when we sit down with Neville, and we can pick that back up. So remember the homework. We have homework to create your own recording of your I am statements. You can use them from the I am Discourses book if you need to. I would suggest that you do that, or create your own. Create your own and then add some of these in. Why not? 1 hour. And that's what you're going to use for yourself to change any of the subconscious thoughts that you want to change. Because we all have some subconscious thoughts that are running in the background. No matter what we are doing on the conscious level, we've got some stuff running in the background that's really what is creating, as we learned last week when we talked about Jehovah and Jehovah's name and how that's creation. So we want to change what's going on that subconscious level. And I think if you start listening to your own self, telling your own self the I am statements and the things, that you want to manifest, be, do, and have in your experience, it's very powerful. Like I said, if you want to add some music to it, do that, but add the 432 megahertz. You can find some, different types of music right here on YouTube. You can't put it on your YouTube channel. You can't put it on your Facebook. This is for you privately, something that you can use for your own private use as you drift off to sleep. So create an hour recording. And then everybody's going to listen to their own recording for the next 30 days. So what's today? Today is June 26th. So that means July 26th will be 30 days. So from June 26th to July 26th, that's what we're going to do. I encourage you all to do that. And if you do that, write your experience down in the comments, or write down that you're going to do it down in the comments. I am going to do it. And then I'll know, and then we can all, come back and check on ourselves and see if that helped us. So write down in the comments, I am going to do it. Once this video is over, once this live is over, you can come back and write down in the comments, I am going to do it, or I'm going to create it, or I am going to do it. Write down there in the comments. Okay, so it's a challenge. Yep, a 30-day challenge to record 1 hour of your I am statements and play it at night as you drift off to sleep. Thank you, Linda. And if you create your recording and want music, use 432 megahertz music. Exactly. So that's the end of the show. I do want to end of us hanging out. If you have anybody else, if you have anything else that you want to share, please put it in the comments before we roll up out of here tonight. But we'll be back next week, and next Wednesday. We'll be here Sunday at 11:30 a.m. And then we'll be back here next Wednesday with Neville Resurrection. So we're going to do open chat on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. and then Resurrection on Wednesday. It's July 3rd, which is the day before, the big party. So I'm going to be here. If you want to be here, great, but I'm going to be here July 3rd. So thank you, Barb. Thank you, Funky00. We love you. Thank you, Linda. And thank you for the folks hanging out in the bushes that didn't want to come into the chat. We love you too. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And I want to also ask you all, take a screenshot. I'm going to pose. And then tag me on Instagram. So I'm going to make a pose. And then tag me. Take a screenshot, tag me. Tell me what you thought about the show. Put a post on Instagram. I'd love to hear your thoughts about tonight or any other show. And we'll be back here again next week. So I love you all. Have a great week. And I'll see you on Sunday. Thank you, Linda. Bye.